In today's video, I'm going to argue that reading slower is actually better for understanding the books and enjoying them. I did a little search on YouTube actually recently. Let's do that now. Let's look up speed reading on the internet just to see what happens. Okay, I did a quick search on YouTube for speed reading 1,000 words a minute. And the reason why I added that sort of qualifier 1,000 words a minute is because a lot of these people are claiming to get you up to that speed. And there are several videos, can you read 1,000 words per minute and so on. I haven't watched all of these, but somebody who's really sort of made waves in this space is a guy named Jim Quick. Now, love him or leave him, it's up to you to decide, but we're going to watch a quick video, just a few seconds, that he had a conversation with Mel Robbins about the ability to improve your speed by 50 to 100%, I think, at least doubling your rate.
Seriously? This one tool, just using a visual cue or pacer or whatever you called it, can increase your reading speed by 50%? Is that really true?
Absolutely, 25-50%. Some of the listeners doing this exercise will actually double their reading speed. And think about it, the value of that. The average person spends about 4 hours a day processing information. You think about social media.
Okay, let's hit pause here. So what he's talking about is using a visual pacer to improve your reading speed. All that means is that you're using your finger to move across the page. And in doing just that one trick, he says you can double your reading speed. Now, the average person reads, 220-ish words a minute to 250 words a minute. That means you're getting upwards of 500 words a minute as long as you can follow your finger along the page. And this sort of concept is being touted as a very valuable thing. I'm going to argue against that thesis today, that statement today. I actually think reading at this speed has, at least for me, done harm. I'm going to share with you why. I'm going to share with you my own personal reading speed. We're going to clock me and see how that goes. And then I'm going to give you several sort of examples of how reading slowly and sort of spending time with the words will not only improve your comprehension of what you're reading, but help you enjoy these books way more. All right, let's get into it. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Read Well podcast. My name is Eddie Hood, and the coffee is good. That's my new tagline. My name is Eddie Hood, and the coffee is good. Today I'm drinking Sumatra. It's an organic Sumatra that I picked up in my bookstore, Edgewater Bookstore. Every month I have a coffee of the month, and it's called Plot Twist. The flavor changes because it's plot twisty like that. And this month for December, it's Sumatra, and it's organic. It's really good. Okay, first things first, let's clock my reading speed. Now, how do you do that? We need to figure out what is actually happening when I open a book and read. I get asked this all the time. How fast do you actually read? Because my message is to slow down and to spend time with the text. Now, I had a theory a little while ago that I wanted to test, and that's what led to this whole community. I was listening to an audiobook, and I noticed that the audiobook was, for me, really easy to sort of visualize what was happening, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought at first that it was because of the really great actors. They've got like A-list actors now doing these narrations because, I don't know, maybe in between gigs, the thing to do is to do voiceovers on Audible. Stephen Fry just did the entire Harry Potter series. How great is that? In his lusciously British accent. Will Wheaton does stuff. I don't know, everybody. They all have audiobooks now. And I thought, is that why I like it? Because the talent is so good? And then I realized, no. Audiobooks are read at a speaking rate that is more close to how I speak in real life. And what happens is that I've spent my entire life listening to words at this rate. And actually, I'm speaking a little faster than I normally would because I'm on YouTube and I'm nervous. But in real life, I speak a little slower than this. I'm a little more thoughtful. And I think my brain has gotten attuned to hearing dialogue in that way. Now, when I read at that same speed, my brain goes, okay, I can handle these words. I know how to sort of process them. But if I try to double or triple or quadruple that reading speed, and I'm moving through it, and I'll show you what this looks like in just a minute, my brain can recognize the words because our brains are very capable of recognizing things. But my brain doesn't have time to appreciate and evaluate the word. So let's do a quick exercise before we clock my reading speed. Let me give you a sentence. Let's say, I'm going to put this up on the screen, okay? Let's say the sentence is, I walked into the kitchen, which smelled rich and aromatic like a Merlot wine. Okay, let's say that that is on the screen. So I'm going to put that up on the screen right now, and I'm going to show it to you at a rate of somebody who reads at 250 words a minute, which is pretty standard for most people. It says that it should be on screen because it's 10 words long for 2.4 seconds. 2.4 seconds. So let's show that now. Okay, so that was your sort of standard view of the text, and your brain probably saw it and went, yep, I read the sentence. Now, let's pretend that we put some of these speed reading tactics in place, and all we're doing is using that finger pacer, and we're following along, and we're trying to push our way through that page as fast as we can. According to experts on speed reading like Jim Quick and others, that will double the speed. So now let's put that on the screen for 1.2 seconds. Okay, less time. Finally, let's take that up to 1,000 words a minute. I almost knocked my coffee over. Wow, I'm getting too excited here. At 1,000 words a minute, that's roughly half of a second that this is going to be up there, okay? So let's do that now. Now, at the 1,000 words a minute, if you're reading that fast, and some people claim to be able to do so, or 500 or 250, your brain probably saw the words and can make sense of them. But here's what I found. I've taken courses on speed reading, and the promise is this, that your comprehension will go up and that you will be able to eventually sort of understand what you're reading at 1,000 words a minute. You'll be able to cruise through these books, and you'll be able to just, turn the page really, really fast and just boom, boom, page, 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 and you'll know what's happening. Now, my argument is this. Maybe when I flash that 1,000 words a minute sentence on the screen, let's do that again. Okay, half a second. Your brain probably recognized the words kitchen and maybe Merlot. And so you're going to make a leap or a connection here. You're going to bridge that gap and think to yourself, oh, I know what's happening in this scene. Somebody's having a glass of wine in a kitchen. In fact, that is not what's happening, and you are filling the gap. And this is a very common thing in speed reading. They're very comfortable with sort of seeing the main concepts of a sentence and letting you fill in the space so that you get the main idea. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not reading books just to get the main idea. If we take that sentence and we slow it down to an appropriate reading speed, our brain has time to actually appreciate each word, evaluate each word, and then add context around each word. That's really, really important. So let's go ahead and time my reading speed now, and you can do this with me. Go ahead and grab a book. Let's see where you're reading right now, and we'll figure out how fast you are. Grab a book. Let me get mine. Where the heck is my book at? Here it is. We're reading Anna Karenina in my book club. So I'm going to read this. Now, the way we're going to do this is you're going to turn on a timer for 1 minute, just 1 minute, and you're going to read at your normal rate. Don't try to speed it up. Don't try to slow it down. Just read as you normally would. Then when we're done, you're going to take your book, since they're all printed a little differently, you're going to count how many words are on a single line of text. Okay, a single line of text. And then from there, we're going to count how many lines are on a page, and you'll multiply the number of words per line against the number of lines on a page. That will tell you how many words are on a page, okay? And you can sort of figure out how many words you read in a minute. Let's get started on that now. We're going to read for 1 minute. Are you ready? Get set. Go. And stop. Okay, so that was 1 minute. Now go ahead and count the number of words per line. My book has roughly 13 words per line. Count the number of lines you read. Okay, I read 11 lines, so 13 words per line times 11 lines is, for me, 143 words a minute. Now, before you judge me and think, wow, why are you so slow? It's because I want to be slow, and I've always read that slowly. Now, you are probably reading faster than that, and that is perfectly fine. That is normal. There's nothing wrong with that. What I want to make as an argument today is that by slowing my speed down to 143 words a minute, there are a few things that are happening for me. So first of all, I'm coming down to that average speed that we speak when we're with real human beings in conversation. Okay, let's go to our friend ChatGPT just to see how fast people actually speak as humans, face to face. ChatGPT, let's see. What is the average speaking speed in words per minute? Okay. ChatGPT says the average speaking speed for conversational English is approximately 150 to 160 words per minute. Interesting. So I am right below that when I read. I'm coming in at 143 words a minute. Maybe it's because I'm slow-witted. I'm not sure. But if we're speaking 150 to 160 words a minute, let's just think about that for a second. Why do we speak that quickly? Well, one, I don't think we can physically move our mouths that well. But two, once we get faster than that, it really becomes hard to add depth to the words. So I can speak very quickly to you if I wanted to, and we could probably get through that conversation, but you wouldn't have time to think about what it means and why it's important. So just try this. Let's go back now. And let's see if you can slow your reading down to roughly 150 words a minute. And let's see, read the same passage. Well, no, read a different passage. I don't want to cheat here. Read a different passage from your book, but try and cut it down to 150 words a minute. So if you read 250 words a minute, just pull the throttle back a little bit. Let's give that a shot now. Okay, we'll put the timer back up. And go. And stop. Okay, so how was that? I'm just curious to know if you felt differently reading at a slower speed. Go ahead and take just a minute. Take your number of words per line, multiply those by the lines you read, and let's see what you came up with. Now, what was your reading speed? Go ahead and leave me a comment down below what your standard reading speed is and what you pulled it back to, and I'm curious to know what your experience was. If I flash that sentence up on the screen for people who are reading at 143 words a minute, that is roughly going to be almost 5 seconds. So let's go ahead and put that on the screen right now. Okay, so when you see the phrase of the kitchen and how it smells rich and aromatic like a Merlot wine, with it being in front of you for that long, your brain has time to feel the words. It has time to sense the words. And so you immediately know that you're in the kitchen and you have time to put yourself visually in that space. You get to play with the adjectives of rich and aromatic, and you know you know what that kind of smells like. You can sort of connect that to other things you've smelt in life that are rich or aromatic. And if you've ever had Merlot wine, you know what that smells like. And now this scene is coming alive for you. So first of all, I want to argue that by slowing down your reading speed, one, you're giving your brain enough space to fully appreciate the words. Two, you're going to be able to comprehend and retain more of what you read because your brain has time to process stuff. I know we want to go 1,000 miles an hour. And yeah, I would love to read all of these books quickly and be like, yay, I read every book on my to-be-read list. But the honest truth is, if I really want to read these books, I'm going to have to be selective with them. I'm going to have to slow down and really spend time with them. So slowing down improves your comprehension. But most importantly, I believe that slowing down improves your enjoyment of the book. Because again, let's do this one more time. Here is the phrase at 1,000 words a minute, which is half a second. Okay, here is the phrase at reading my speed, which is 143 words a minute, or roughly 5 seconds. Do you feel the difference? Yes, in both instances, your brain can see the words kitchen, maybe Merlot, or aromatic. I'm not quite sure what your brain saw in the 1,000 word per minute sort of flash. But when you slow down, you give yourself permission to enjoy the text. And that's what this whole video is about. That's what this community is about. If you want to comprehend more of what you read, if you want to retain more of what you read, and most importantly, if you want to enjoy more of what you read, please give yourself the freedom and the space to read at a speed at which you speak. Give your brain a chance to catch up. Hey, every week I give a book recommendation on something that I've been reading that I absolutely love, and this week is no different. Let me grab it for you. I just finished Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. This book is a game changer, and I mean that literally. It changed the way that Americans thought about slavery and sort of the differences of race and how people treated each other. In the 19th century, slave owners just treated their slaves as though they were property, and they would buy and sell. They would separate husband from wife and so on. It was a terrible thing. Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote this book to try and show the stories, the painful stories of these slaves, so that her readers, who were the white slaveholders, could get a sense of how they were actually real people and not property. She taught people that slaves were human, and this book really helped to kick off the abolitionist movement. In fact, in 1862, when she visited the White House, President Lincoln is rumored to have said, "So you're the little lady that wrote the book that started this great war," speaking, of course, about the Civil War and the movement to find freedom for all. Okay, if you're interested in Uncle Tom's Cabin, I have that book available at Edgewater Bookstore, along with the little notebook that I create for that book. So go ahead and check that out. I'll leave the link down below. We talked earlier about the value that audiobooks have brought to my life because I connected the speaking speed of the narrator with my appreciation for the text, and I applied that in my own reading style and found that it was really helping me become a better reader. If you want to find other ways to use audiobooks to improve your reading, I've made a video right here for that. Go ahead and check it out right now. Hey everybody, I just want to thank you for watching this week's video. If you liked it, again, give me a comment, like the video, subscribe, whatever you got to do. It really helps out the channel. And until next week, as always, remember to read slowly, take notes, and apply the ideas. I'll see you all next time.